Guess what, beautiful people? Acting is the art form of life, and I'm pretty sure I've been studying it my whole life. I'm Ann Pirvu. I'm a professional actress and journalist. I love the creative arts. I love learning, and I love imparting what I learned from this incredible, collaborative, connective medium. And when you study people for a living and appreciate academics as much as I do, you collect interesting life lessons worth sharing. Things I wish they taught in school. Like how to think, not what to think. Understanding our emotions by accessing and harnessing our inner resources. Finding that personal voice, our spark, and the confidence to share it openly with the world for all of our greatest benefit. So I created Pep Magazine, a digital wellness magazine geared towards inspiring youth to do just that. To put some pep in that daily step and make a mindful, positive lifestyle a priority. PepLive became the next logical step. Welcome to the Bouncing Up Place, a weekly forum where we engage in meaningful conversations that educate, empower, and elevate. An open, safe space to be who you are, this completely interactive, judgment-free zone recorded every Soul Sunday on my Instagram Live account with anyone that wishes to participate, share, and learn from one another with kindness, sensitivity, and curiosity. And speaking of curiosity, today we get to talk about a little piece of us that always has plenty. Are you ready? Our inner child. Whether 6 or 60, we all have one. What is our little inner child? How can we nurture its needs? And why should we even try? Are you ready, sparklers? Let's dig in and Pep Life. Ride with me, ride with me. Go! It'll be. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Because you guys are all here, guys. So it's meant to be. Happy Soul Sunday, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Because we are talking about a very special thing. That little inner child that rides with us all the time, and we might not even know it. But we will today, because today's topic is all about understanding and becoming aware of our inner child. Thank you so much for joining me today. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful people saying hello. I see Cindy Delestine. Hello, gorgeous. Love Ann Pirvu, Carl Baxter, Alin Cruciat, bună seara, mulțumesc mult că ați venit aici. I see Daenerys Crown, hello. I see, oh my goodness, Brazilian friends, my little Mexican friends. Who else do I have in the house here? Oh, my Canadian friend, Steve Dolson. Hi, Steve Dolson. How's it going? Great to see ya. Love Ann Pirvu says, at the moment I learned from my Spanish exam and you made my day. Yes, sweetheart. I love you. Thank you so much for combining education with a little bit of emotional EQ, which is what we do here every Soul Sunday. We talk about understanding ourselves and basically different methods and different ways of helping us navigate life in an easier way. Alfred Ramsey says, the inner child is your true self. Now don't think that your goal was to have money and a house. Think of what you wanted to be as a child and try working on it. Absolutely love that lovely statement. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Prairie's Wings says, oh my God, I love you so much, I don't deserve you. Girl, you deserve me, and we all deserve you, and I am so happy that you're here and that you're sharing this beautiful hour with us on Sunday. First of all, before we even dive into this topic, can I just tell you how grateful I am for each and every single one of you for constantly sending me these wonderful notes, for constantly participating and sharing your beautiful sparkly light and thoughts with all of us, because this is what this is, an open, safe forum for you to express yourself and for each of us to learn from each other. And it has given me so much joy to announce this last Friday that we are turning Soul Sunday into a podcast, guys. It's a podcast on Patreon right now, patreon.com/PepMag. Episode 1, which happened to be last week's topic, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. That was an incredible conversation. Thank you so much to all who participated in that That beautiful conversation is now up on patreon.com/thepepmag, so please have a listen. Please subscribe, because from now on you'll be able to take these little conversations in your pocket, traveling with you wherever you go, and they won't just disappear off Instagram. So, love you dearly. Let's have this incredible conversation today about our inner child. I want to start us off. When I first started acting, something that always stuck with me, and this happened, I studied with a lot of different teachers. Like, I've been studying for a very long time. And each and every single one of them, in different ways and at different times, have pointed out the fact that to be a good actor, you need to get in touch with your 2-year-old self. You need to study 2-year-olds. And I was like, 2-year-olds? Oh, okay, that's an interesting thing to tell me to do as an actor. You want me to look at 2-year-olds and observe them? Observe what, awesome teacher? Like, 2-year-olds are just starting out life. What do 2-year-olds know about life? Guess what? A ton. They know what it means to be uninhibited, what it means to go out into the world and explore it for the first time, everything being interesting, everything being new, everything being free and open and available and possible. Having this curiosity and a courage to just sort of follow where that courage leads, without thinking about, which is what we are conditioned to learn about, different things to be fearful of, to protect ourselves as we get older. So at the tender, beautiful age of 2, you are so interesting, my beautiful human. You know why? Because you are completely uninhibited and finally start being cognizant of and aware that you are a thing, a being. Ooh, there's flesh, blood, I've got my own identity, and I can step out into the world and explore it. This is cool. And at that time, you don't yet have the notions of things to be worried about or afraid of. So that's why, as an actor, they kept telling us, like, go watch 2-year-olds, see how fun they are, see how impulsive they are, and they're following their impulses. And I was like, all right, okay, I guess I need to spend more time in playgrounds. Cool. We can do that. So, this notion of having an inner child, guys, I gotta break it to you. We all have one. We were all children at one time or another, and we are at this very moment, whether you are, whatever age you are at, watching and connecting with us right now, whatever age you actually have made it to, it does not matter. You have an inner child. We have all become an assembly of all the wonderful experiences that we have lived so far in our entire life. They have been alchemized in the makeup of who we are, whether we realize it or not. Now, what I want to encourage you today is to realize it, is to know that you do have an inner child, and to become aware that it's important to nurture it. Okay, let's see what other beautiful, wonderful things you guys are saying. Ashley Wyman 92 says, all I gotta do is go to Disney World to bring my inner child out. Yeah, girl! Love it, love it. Playgrounds, were we just talking about playgrounds? Disney World is like the ultimate playground, so I encourage that highly, sister. Get in there, have some fun, and that's the other beautiful thing about engaging with our inner child. It's all about fun. And life should be all about fun. We should be following our joy. We should be seeking opportunities to be joyful and happy and just, make the most out of every opportunity that comes our way. And children innately know how to do that, so it's wonderful. Alexander Hoffman, what's happening? Nice to see you. Raining Xbash says, have you been to Scotland? My dearest, I have not, but I would love to. Talk about fun. I honestly would absolutely love to do that. Medici.Crown says, hi Ann, I'm happy to hear your voice. Sister, I'm so happy to hear your voice. And speaking of hearing your voices, in the latter half of this beautiful hour, I want to hear from you. I want to see those beautiful faces. I want to hear your voices, and I want you to tell me what you think about what we're talking about, because I have some things to share with you first, but then I want to know exactly what you think about this, okay? Because that's the whole point of this, is to share information and to learn from one another. Guys, you are wonderful. I love reading all your comments. And by the way, I always read all the comments, so please feel free to share with each other. If there's a question that I happen to miss or a comment that you think is important, write it down, and I promise you I will either highlight it in this hour now or I will highlight it later, because the whole point is that we all take away as much as possible from this conversation today, okay? So I read this really cool book, Meditation for Busy People. It's tiny, it's cool. I just happened to stumble over it, but one of the most interesting things that I remember from reading it, and it was written by Osho, who is a modern day philosopher and a bit of a mystic, and you know, he's not around anymore, but regardless, he's a very smart dude. And one of the coolest things that he put something into perspective for me that I hadn't quite thought of in that way before. When we are children, when we are young, so there are two phases in our life. There's the childhood and the adulthood that he kind of isolates. In our childlike state, we come in with this innocence and zest for life and curiosity and energy and uninhibited energy, basically, right? We come in with that. And then we encounter what? Parents, friends, different elements all around us. You know what I mean? Like conditional. We encounter conditions in life. We start going out. We realize we can't cross the street. We've got to look two ways before crossing the street because we might get run over by a car. You realize you can't touch a hot stove because your hand might get burnt. You realize this through experience, or you realize this through information that's passed on from well-meaning people around you, whether they be parents, teachers, friends, and whatnot. But we basically, as Osho says, create a bit of an armor around ourselves in order to protect ourselves and survive until adulthood in this wonderful society that we all share, because you're thrown in this massive pool of diversity. Every single one of us are unique. Every single one of us are different. And so as we enter into the world, it's like, oh, there are things that you need to survive and protect yourself with and from, okay? So we built this armor in the first half of our life. Now, Osho says that in the second half of our life, it is our responsibility to awaken our inner child that unfortunately gets a bit dulled as we get bogged down by the rules and the system and what society wants us to do and what teachers teach us we should do and what parents want us to do, all these things that other people want us to do that constitute our armor. Osho says, as an adult, the realization, the transition from childhood to adulthood is the shedding of this armor. It's the breakup of this, you know, this protective gear that you have created upon yourself, and through choices, through the choice of what you truly, innately want to do in your life, following your joy, following your passion, the armor starts falling off. Isn't that a beautiful analogy? So the key in all of that, which is what I want to start us off with as an idea, is that you're not relinquishing. It's not like when you become an adult, that child like gets shed away as well. Not even close. That child that made you who you are is still a part of you, always. It's still inside of you. It is pure raw emotion and the experience of, you know, like, again, I'm going to share someone much smarter than me explaining how this whole thing works. But essentially, our inner child is constantly a part of us. It is a constant, whether dormant in our awareness or not. So it is important to heighten our awareness of this and to start using that energy and that knowledge to our advantage as we advance through life, okay? Isn't that lovely? Isn't that a great thought? Thought I would share that with you. Let's see what you think. Let's see what sparkly thoughts are coming to your mind. Lightwood Kane says, I always look forward to Soul Sundays. Yeah, girlfriend, me too. Honestly, I am so excited every time I get a chance to talk to you guys, and the fact that participation has been growing tremendously over the last couple of months, and we're expanding the Pep family. It's awesome. It's just awesome. So, love you. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. Hi, gorgeous people. Hello, honestly. Royal Scarston says, I honestly love my inner child. Girl, you're amazing. And I'm always letting out to play. It's the part of me that makes me the happiest. Love you so much. Even though my childhood was painful and hard, that didn't stop little Kate No, it didn't, gorgeous. No, it didn't. And I'm proud of you. And you know what? Every single step along our journey has made us who we are today. And it was for a reason. It was meaningful. It was powerful. It is going to be part of who we are, but it does not define all that we can be. I hope you heard that. Because your most powerful self is right now. So it's not about what you've been through. It's about where you're going, where you're bouncing up from here. Using that previous experience and knowledge as your stable, solid ground of who you are, okay? So we're not thinking about who you are. We are constantly thinking about who you can be. That's what we're working towards constantly. And that inner child in us always reminds us of what? Playfulness, curiosity, fun, joy, discovery, exploration, potential, possibility. Kids aren't afraid to touch something or go up to someone and say something silly. Kids say the darndest things. You know that show? It's amazing. Kids are uninhibited. They will say it like it is, be honest, put it out there and see what happens. And that part of us, we must nurture. We must bring to light. Because again, that's the surprise. That's where, you have no idea how someone else is going to react. That's the fun of it all. Where do I go from here? Literally. It's awesome. Kids are great. I love kids. My Raining X Bash says, my child self played in the mud with the boys. Oh, girl, that's amazing. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we should always do. Sometimes it's really fun to play in the mud. I actually used to make mud cakes and serve it to all my friends. It was awesome. Hopefully nobody actually ate them. I don't recall that quite, but whatever. Life is fun. Prairie Light says, my inner child has been different than most. I have always been sort of overly mature for my age. I had a childhood, but I always had to be more grown up than most. My beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think there's so many of us that relate with that. Especially because, for me, the first thing I thought about was being a little immigrant kid. You're just sort of thrown into life and you sometimes assume a bit more responsibility because you have to be resilient. You have to adjust. It's a brand new everything. But isn't it wonderful to know that the childlike mentality of the new is exciting can always be something that you use to your advantage. It is always a part of you. That mentality always exists within you. The new, what happens is when we get older and we start experiencing things, we start being fearful, we start worrying, we understand that our mental capacities heighten, they become, we start thinking more is what I'm trying to say. We start thinking way too much more than is oftentimes necessary. So we psych ourselves out, we freak ourselves out. We think about things to be fearful of instead of just throwing ourselves headfirst into something that feels right and seeing if it works and then adjusting if it doesn't. But kids are so much better at just keeping it simple. I want to do this or I don't want to do this. That's it. Adults, oh my God, if I do this, this is going to happen and then maybe it'll lead to this and then maybe not. And you get down this path of oh my goodness, I might talk myself out of doing something that I really want. So just keep that in mind, this beautiful childlike mentality of the unknown as being an exciting, adventurous journey to undertake. Instead of the unknown is so scary and just could possibly make me feel so bad and I will never be able to attain what I want, which is all bad, which makes you feel not good. Right? Kid goes, yeah, it's possible. Let me do it. Do it. Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm saying now, but I'm kind of having fun. This is great. As long as we're having fun, okay, guys? Hopefully this is all making sense. Let's see. Lisanne Mueller. Oh, hi, gorgeous! Alfred Ramsey says, a child's innocence always exists in us. A child never hates, discriminates. A child always loves without judging and helps everyone around. Oh, isn't that lovely? Most beautiful thing is they enjoy everything. Beautiful. They make the most out of everything. Love that. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. Rain_2005 says, my inner child is just crazy. Normally I'm trying to be mature, but because of my inner child, I just act super crazily. And by crazy, I think you mean adventurous, again, uninhibited, freedom. You're free to explore, you're free to try things. I love that. That's wonderful. Love Ann Pirvu says, we all were young and had dreams. Okay, I'm 15. Yeah, girl, you're 15. But we all have it. You have all an inner child. It's a different person in us. Okay. Love that you just said that, because I think this brings us to a very important part of the conversation that I think we need to focus on very importantly, okay? And I'm going to share a little article that I found online that I thought was incredible, written by Dr. Stephen A. Diamond, okay? A PhD in psychology. So let's think about this. It's called Essential Secrets of Psychology, the Inner Child. I loved this. I'm going to share this with you at the PepMag.com as well, so you have all this information. But essentially, he says, we were all once children and still have that child dwelling within us. It is a separate part of us. We need to think of it as a separate entity in a way, in order to be able to communicate with it the way that's most effective, okay? Most adults are unaware of this altogether, he says. Interesting, right? So the awareness is our first step. We need to become aware that, again, there is an inner child dwelling within us. Now, don't be freaked out by that, okay? It's a metaphorical child, but it's a child. He continues to say, true adulthood hinges on acknowledging, accepting, and taking responsibility for loving and parenting one's own inner child. Isn't that lovely? Guys, whether you're 6 or you're 60, it is our responsibility to parent and nurture our inner child. Isn't that lovely? He goes on to say, we are told by society to grow up, putting childish things aside. To become adults, we've been taught that our inner child, representing our childlike capacity for innocence, wonder, awe, joy, sensitivity, and playfulness, must be stifled to become adults. Quantified or even killed. Ooh, that sounds extreme. The inner child holds our accumulated childhood hurts, traumas, fears, angers. Grown-ups are convinced they have successfully outgrown and left this child and its emotional baggage long behind, but this is far from the truth. He goes on to say, for many, it is not an adult self directing their lives, but rather an emotionally wounded inner child inhabiting an adult body. Now, here's how this works, okay, guys? Because this is really important. So this is how our inner child sort of manifests itself without us even realizing sometimes, okay? Because if you don't deal with the fears, with the anxieties, with the childhood traumas, for example, if you don't consciously take hold of them and responsibility for understanding yourself and them, so managing your emotions, if we don't learn how to do that, then we act out in ways that will, amplify those insecurities and fears anyway, which will affect our life in the end, okay? So this is how he explains it. Then we wonder why our relationships fall apart, why we feel so anxious, afraid, insecure, inferior, small, lost, lonely. But think about it. How else would any child feel having to fend for themselves in an apparently adult world without proper parental supervision, protection, structure, or support? That little child within us that started figuring out life, immediately started feeling insecure and unsafe at different times. And unfortunately, if we don't learn why that happened and how we can manage it, and if nobody, around us has sort of taught us how to deal with those feelings and emotions, then, they're going to keep repeating themselves like patterns in our lives, and they're going to affect our relationships moving forward with others, any kind of relationship, right? First, he says, to fix all this, so to start getting a handle on this, one becomes conscious of his or her own inner child. So acknowledge, guys, you have an inner child. I got my inner child. Every single one of us has an inner child, okay? And then he goes on to say, we learn to take our inner child seriously and to consciously communicate with that little girl or boy within, to listen to how he or she feels. Isn't that lovely? And what he or she needs from us here and now. In this very moment, communicating with our inner child. Whatever you feel, you feel it for a reason. Okay, my beautiful people? I love you from the bottom of my heart. I want you to hear this, because oftentimes we equate negative emotions like fear and insecurity and, anger and all that stuff with there's something wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you. It is all natural and normal. Every single emotion that you feel is happening for a reason, and every single one of us have access to those emotions. We are all walking hotbeds of emotion at all times. I learned this as an actor. It's a wonderful analogy to think about. It's like anyone can be an actor. You can be an actor. You know why? Because we all have access to the same kinds of emotions, and they can be triggered by different things at any time, really. So think about that. It's a really cool thought. He goes on to say, the often frustrated primal needs of that perennial inner child. So the child, in its honesty, okay, because they haven't really learned how to communicate any of these raw emotions, feel pure love, pure acceptance, and have a need for acceptance, protection, nurturing, understanding. And those things carry on with us throughout life. Those things don't change. So don't think it's childish to want to feel safe. Don't think it's childish to want to feel loved. Don't think it's childish to want to be accepted. We want these things. These things are human needs constantly, always throughout life. Isn't that a beautiful thing to know? Don't wonder. Don't be insecure about that. Know. It's all good. It's all okay. And at different times, because emotions come and go and they flow like waves, you will feel them stronger than others. Some emotions will come on stronger than others depending on the life that you're living and the experiences and the people around you. And this is all okay. Accept it. To learn to get a handle on ourselves and our emotions, to know that we can drive this bus of our life, of who we are, to know that we are in charge, we must accept every bit of ourselves, all of these emotions, the good, the bad, and we associate, the bad ones with the childish part of us. It's all good. That baby, that little child is all a part of you, and you need to treat it with kindness and sensitivity and be like, you know what? It's okay that you don't know everything. It's okay that you're still learning. We are all constantly learning. We are all constantly little children figuring out life. No matter how old we are, nobody has all the answers, ever. New questions are born from the answers that we gain, and that is life. That is the fun of life. That is the beauty of life. That is the juice of life. That is the energy of life. Everything is a building process. So be proud of this childish energy, and remember your inner kid, always. He says, what was done cannot be undone. So think about this, okay? Thinking about your inner child, and perhaps you didn't have a nice childhood. Perhaps things were rough. Perhaps people hurt you, and you are still carrying the baggage and the burden of that. But remember, what was done cannot be undone. We should not, as adults, now expect others to meet all of these unfulfilled childhood needs. They cannot. Authentic adulthood requires both accepting the painful past and the primary responsibility for taking care of that inner child's needs. So remember, guys, we can't look to others to take care of unfulfilled needs for us. We can't expect anyone else to do anything for us, because the minute we become conditional like that, we give away our power. What we must do as we grow older, and this is a process, so be kind to yourself, is take responsibility for how we feel and understand that we can affect that emotion ourselves. So don't become dependent on other people, even if they're your family, even if they're your friends. Don't depend on that for success. Understand that in order to handle your inner child's needs, you can be that parent. You can parent your own inner child, always. Just remember that it's a separate part of you, and talk to it like you would any other friend or person, or me, right now. Talk to that little little baby child inside of you and soothe it and tell it it's all going to be okay, and that you're perfect just the way that you are, and that you're going along in life at the pace and the exact right time with everything. Always. You are always in the right place at the right time. Everything you've accomplished is enough. You are enough. You're always doing your best, and all we can ever do is our best. These are the things that you need to remind your little inner child. Always. Isn't that a lovely thought? I thought that was fun to share. I love you guys so much. Let's see what everyone else thinks. My inner child played in the mud with the boys. I love that so much. Medici Crown says, okay, so do you think that the inner child can disappear? Like when I was in a bad phase of my depression, it kind of disappeared. And now that I can look back to 8 months, no self-harm. Good job, sister. I'm so proud of you. I feel it coming back. Okay, so here's what you're pointing out here. Do you think that the inner child can disappear, you ask? No, my sweet. I don't think that you always carry the inner child with you. And I think that's not what you meant, though. I think what you meant is, as we go through depressive stages in our life, as we go through difficulties, as struggles come our way, what happens is we lose the joy in the life experience that we allow ourselves to experience. We lose the joy, right? And so the free, happy, giddy inner child that wants to explore life and get out there and meet people and, have fun gets suppressed. So you're pushing that inner child down. You're forgetting. You're literally just holding up a barrier, and you're living life from up here. Nose forward, head up, forgetting to look down inside and say, hey, little one, want to come out and play? That's all. That's all. But that inner child never goes away. You can remove the barrier at any time. You have the power to do that. Now it's again, it's not easy. I'm not saying this is going to be, an easy process at all times. Just let that lid go and you're fine, and get the kid out there and just play it up. Live life. I'm not saying that's how it works, okay? I fully understand, and I've been through some really difficult times in my life, that there are dips. There are dips in our emotional life. And the worst things that happen to us are the best things that happen to us, because they give us the perspective and the fuel to move in the right direction when we are ready to do that. Okay? Once we come out the other side of that depression, of that anxiety, of that clarifying moment of depth, everything just becomes light again. And we can start engaging with our inner child one more time. And being inspired by these, by what? By the notion of curiosity that our inner child will always fuel us with, the notion of adventure, the notion of potential, this uninhibited, action-based, I can do anything kind of mentality, you have access to that all the time. All you got to do is figure out a way to go from, the dip to being ready to push up one more time. Yeah, girl. Thank you for sharing that. You're beautiful, and I'm so proud of you. By the way, can I just say, let's all celebrate right now. Ginormous virtual round of applause for you and your success. 8 months of success, of coming back from the other side. Okay, sister? We're all proud of you, and keep going, because you're going in the right direction, and you're amazing. That's all I want to say. You're strong, and you're beautiful, and you're amazing, and keep doing what you're doing, because you're headed down the right path. Love you dearly. Thanks for sharing that. Ashley Wyman 92 says, I missed the author's name. Can you repeat it? Of course. Dr. Stephen A. Diamond. Okay? And I'm going to make this available at thepepmag.com as well, this article, because I think it was lovely. I think he sums it up really, really well. How wonderful. I love you guys so much. I'm sorry, there's so many comments that I missed. Again, if I don't get to a question or a comment, point it out to me, okay? And please try to help each other too if I miss anything. Rain_2005 says, how can you still keep an inner child when you have so much to do as a teenager or adult? I love my inner child and I don't want to lose it. Baby girl, you can't lose your inner child, sister. Your inner child is always a part of you. Your inner child is going to come alive as you, in your adult teenager self, is going to find the joy and the fun in absolutely anything that you engage in, whether it be a person, whether it be an activity. That's when your inner child naturally comes out to play. You never lose your inner child. You just have to remember that in the tough times. So, for example, this is the best notion. This is the best example. So, like, let's say I feel fearful about the future in some way, okay? So like last week we were talking about exams. I am scared. I'm scared for my exam tomorrow. For a lot of you that are still going through exams right now, I'm scared. So you're feeling fear, okay? Now, you have to remember that the fear and the anxiety that you're feeling is a temporary feeling, okay? So it's just literally coming as a result of your focus on something that you perceive might not go well. You might not do your best. It might affect you in a negative way. Now, here's how you deal with that. Knowing that you have an inner child in you that's fearful, you talk to it. You think of it as a separate part of you. You take that fear and you remove it and you say to the fear, to that inner child that just doesn't know what might happen in this scenario, you tell your inner child that everything's going to be okay. You tell your inner child that you have studied really hard this entire year, and you tell that child that you're smart and you're beautiful and you're doing your best. And that one exam is not the be-all and end-all of anything. And that at the end of the day, it's about what you take away, the knowledge that you take away. It's not about just the mark, and it's not about what anyone else thinks of how much you know. It is the wealth of knowledge that you take away from this experience. It's going to matter for the rest of your life. You tell that inner child that whatever happens, it's good. It's good. You're great. You're doing your best. And remember, the fear is not you. It's not the totality of you. It's just one little piece that you can remove, talk to it, deal with it, massage it into a better feeling place, and then be like, oh, there it is. Now it's me again. Now I can have fun, knowing that learning is cool. And exams are not just things that are putting you on the spot. They're a way to measure an achievement. There's something to celebrate. They're a benchmark that you have reached. Those are things that you tell your inner child, and I guarantee you it's going to make you feel better. But believe me, that inner child is always going to come out to play. You don't have to engage it specifically. I would engage my inner child specifically when I'm handling a negative emotion. So remove it. Understand that it's a separate part of you that you can get rid of, that negative emotion. And not get rid of in a bad way, because again, everything you feel is good. But what I mean is make it feel better. Nurture it. Take care of it. Like Dr. Diamond was talking about. Understand that it's our responsibility to parent our own inner fears and emotions, and those little kids that are just kind of running around there going, can I do this? Can I do that? Yes, you can. Tell your inner child, yes, you can. And use that fuel from the joy of their courage and their discovery and their curiosity. Royal Scarston says, our inner child never truly leaves us. Yeah, girl! It's always there, waiting to be called. It's what keeps us sane as adults. Adulthood can take a toll on us. Right, because adulthood, again, it's that armor. We have built that armor around us, and it is up to us to start shedding it, because as we learn, what we want and what we don't want, we have less patience. When we're young, we sort of go with struggles and difficulties that we come our way because we are learning. We continue to learn. Everything is a learning experience, So when you don't know, you might stumble, you might fumble, you might make a ton of mistakes. Sorry about these crazy sirens. But when we get older, and so we've experienced a ton of stuff already that might be similar or not, right? You start you'll start having less patience for things that you don't actually appreciate. You know? So know, whatever age you are at right now, that this is a constant process. That when you're young, you naturally make more quote-unquote mistakes. There are no mistakes, but I'm just giving you like a clear example because you just haven't had enough experience, and it is all meant to help you realize the direction that you actually want to take in your life. Now, when you're an adult, you can just shed all that and be like, yo, I figured it out. This is the direction. That's where I want to go, and that's where you go. And then build from there, because it's all a building process. You know what I mean? But that little kid, it's still in there. It ain't going nowhere. Isn't that fun to know? Oh, you guys are so cute. Oh, Gemma B 1990 says, my baby boy brings out my inner child. It's like I forgot how to have real simple fun. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Isn't that lovely? The other aspect of this that I am so excited that you highlighted is that as we get older, we have reminders all around us. It's not just us reminding ourselves that we have an inner child. We interact with and we see the freedom of those 2-year-olds, whether there are children or nephews or anywhere else, whether you go to a playground and you see the joy around you and you get inspired, and it's that energy that can come from anywhere that we just need to be aware of, and it will nurture naturally our inner child, you know, and it'll make you feel good, and it will just make you feel accomplished and appreciate life in a different way because you know it's all about the journey, and we're all on a journey. My little 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, you're one day going to be 30, 35, 40, 50, hopefully, with the grace of the universe. And isn't that wonderful to look forward to? And anyone that's gotten to that stage there, isn't it lovely to be able to look back and say, I love being inspired by my now children, my grandchildren, and look at this shared connection that we have as human beings. Look at how wonderful that even with how much we have evolved, our society is incredible today. It's incredible what we can do and how far we've come. But isn't it wonderful to know that the experience of being human is very much connected? It is all the same. We are all the same. At its essence, we are all the same, the experience of being human. We are all connected, and I love that idea. It gives me so much joy to know that I am never alone. Ever. And I want to share that with you. I want to share that thought with you, and I hope you take it and run with it, because it's a good one. It's a good one. Alfred Ramsey says, why does everyone love kids with pets? Everyone loves those photos. We enjoy those photos because that's what we dream of. World filled with that kind of love. Beautiful. What a beautiful observation that children and animals and the youth, they remind us of promise. They remind us of these ideals and this connected humanity that we all have that matters to us. This is why we came into this beautiful physical plane, to explore, to be curious, to create. You know, to interact with one another and just have fun and live life and build things. Isn't that a wonderful, idea and a wonderful thing to know? To know that each and every single one of us has value and are here for a reason, and that it's just our job to just joyfully figure out what we want to do with our life. Play with each other and figure out what we want to do with our life. That's all we got to do. Isn't it great? Royal Scarson says, I had to grow up early too. At 6 years old, I was making my own food, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yeah, girl. Woo, my favorite. Good job. Because I was left alone and no one cared, my sweet babe. But watching cartoons made me feel like a kid. You're wonderful. I love you so much. Thank you for sharing that and the way that you coped and how far you've come. I actually learned English from cartoons, so we have a shared love there, sister. And isn't it wonderful to know that even at this age right now, you can still enjoy cartoons and movies like Moana, which is an amazing film, by the way, and I hope you saw it. Fairy Light says, I missed it in my childhood. I didn't really know when to worry. It was easier. Now I overanalyze everything. I am envious of little children. Oh, sweet babe. It's wonderful that you know that. It's wonderful that you're aware that you're overanalyzing things, because I want to empower you to know that you can change that at any time. At any time we can tell our minds, hey mind, take a hike, take a break, stop thinking right now. I know it's hard, it's not easy, but you can do that. You can set that tone. You can put your mind at ease by talking to your inner child, communicating with your inner child. Communicate as you would communicate with a friend who is in trouble or worrying or whatnot. Pretend talk to yourself like you would talk to, you know, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, a friend that's your age. Communicate, though. That's very, very important. Don't let feelings that are unpleasant bubble up or sit or build or, you know, communicate right away and things get better. I promise you. It's awesome. Emily Rose 97 says, yeah, what you've just said about talking yourself out of something. I'm always worried about what could happen instead of trying it out and adjusting if it doesn't. Again, my beautiful Emily, thank you so much for sharing that. Awareness is the first step. So, the truth about anything in life is if we truly want to do something, we focus on it and we do it. Honestly, every single one of us has this capacity. So you said, I'm always worried about what could happen instead of trying it out and adjusting it. So now you know that. So instead of worrying, you say to yourself, I'm going to stop worrying. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to do it. And here I go. And then see what happens. And then you try this once and you see what happens. And then perhaps you think, oh man, this is fun. Perhaps you try it again and then it gets easier. And then you try it again and then it gets easier. And then with practice and repetition, it becomes your new norm. A belief is just a thought that we keep thinking, that we keep telling ourselves. If we talk to ourselves and cheerlead ourselves into the beautiful freedom, these concepts of our childlike self that are freedom, excitement, curiosity, uninhibited exploration, if we talk ourselves into those feelings and experiences, it becomes our new self eventually, you know, and it becomes easier. It becomes easier to have a beautiful, joyful, successful life in whatever that means for you. Is that fun to think about? I love that. Furry Wings says, I miss my childhood. I felt so free in that time, like I didn't have any responsibilities. I used to play all day with my friends, cousins, and sometimes with my brothers. I really miss that. Oh, I love it. And again, this awareness is everything. So what you now know is that you miss something. You miss the freedom, which means that you can start working on feeling more freedom in your now moment. You can set that intention for yourself and say, I want to feel more free. And that feeling of freedom can be accomplished right now. Thinking what? Right now I'm choosing to be a part of this amazing live stream with this incredible team of people, and I love everybody here. I'm doing what I want. I am free. I am free to engage. I am free to speak my mind. I am free. Anything is possible at any time. And you get on this amazing thought rampage and you feel freedom. And then you follow that impulse and you know that you can do it at any time. You don't have to be a child to be free. Remember, that inner child is always a part of you. You are always carrying it within you, which means that you always have the potential for whatever the inner child makes you think of, or you can always be that inner child. You can always be a kid. In fact, you see, the most hilarious thing is when, you know, I like to have fun. I love to laugh. Like, no matter what, I just always like to be honest and call it like it is and just have fun. Just laugh at things. Because life is ridiculous sometimes, you know, and people take themselves so seriously. And of course, there are moments in life when you need to be serious. But remember, we're all playing a game in many ways. You know, life is a game. And it should be a fun one. I truly believe that. I honestly, truly believe that. Gemma B 1990 says, I spent so much of my childhood hiding away and trying to change myself. Now I'm older and I have accepted myself. I wish I could go back and give my inner child hope for the future. Oh, my baby doll. Thank you so much for sharing that. Isn't it lovely how you've just highlighted the reverse? You know, you pointed out that during childhood, there were struggles and there were things that you wish you could have done differently. And now I'm older and have accepted myself. She says, I wish I could go back and give my inner child hope for the future. Guess what, my beautiful Gemma? You can. You can. Now, we can't undo what was done, but we can talk to that beautiful child that is still a part of us. And in our now moment, knowing that life is just a forward trajectory, you can still talk to that inner child and accomplish exactly what you're talking about here. And not only that, but inspire those around you through that process of you being strong, you living your truth, you accepting every part of yourself, not just, you know, the things that are socially acceptable or good or, you know, whatever. Every part, even those tough parts of your life, accepting that that was all part of your journey and it is all good and it is all beautiful and it has made you who you are. And now, leading by example in your now brilliance, you can inspire others. You can share what you have learned with your children, with the children around you, with us, with, you know, and inspire us. And you're still accomplishing exactly that, even though you can't go back in time and change what happened to you, you know? Because the beautiful thing is, I don't even think you really want to do that. I can only speak for myself, though, and from my own lens, but I am actually very grateful for every single bit of struggle that I've ever had in my life. And there's been some moments, guys, I gotta tell you, it was not fun. It was not pleasant. And I'm joking about it now because I'm in a good place in my life, but it was tough. And I know that more tough times will come. That's okay. Because it makes me who I am. And I'm proud of all of it. And you should be too. You should always be proud of yourself and your journey. And enjoy it. And learn. Learn as much as you can from each painful misstep along the way. You know, learn from it, readjust, move forward in a new, strong, focused trajectory because of that pain that you went through. Trust me, it works. It works, my beautiful friends. Who else has something lovely to say? Well, how are we doing on time? Oh, geez. Okay, let's try to do a live hit right now. Who wants to say hello? I'm so sorry we're running out of time. This is crazy. Royal Scarston, are you ready, my beauty? Are you ready? We're at I want to also give you an opportunity because I saw your post. You've been through a lot, sister. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to Rachel Scarston, if she's watching this or not.
I am.
Hi, sweet girl.
I am.
Of course I can hear you.
Okay, great, because I was having some issues with the internet before, so I just want to make sure.
That's okay. That's awesome. You look fantastic, and there are no issues right now.
This is really.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, great. Because I was worried. I was worried that if this happened, something would go wrong. So, okay, great.
I'm hearing you. This is great. It's coming in and out a little bit, but it's
I just
okay.
want to say I love this topic so much today. It's really helpful.
Wonderful.
Not only to me, but to other people as well.
Oh my goodness, we're losing you. Shoot! I wish I could hear you right now. I can't hear what you're saying. This is breaking my heart. This is actually breaking my heart. Oh.
Gotcha, okay.
Oh, shoot. I heard something.
Connection is weird, so. You are across the world, and I am in Greece, and you are, like, far away from me. So maybe, who knows?
Absolutely. Oh, sister, I'm so sorry. It's like breaking up, and I sense what you want to say, and I sense what you're talking about, and I really appreciate the sentiment because I share it very much, you know, I mean. Oh, shoot.
Maybe another time, who knows?
Absolutely. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing everything that you share, for your courage, and for your, for how much you care, for your heart. I want to thank you for your heart. You have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful heart. And I know you're trying to do something right now.
I can't hear anything
to grab Rachel's attention. I love you. And I am going to share your intentions, okay? And we're gonna try to help you out. I love you, sister. I'm so sorry. We're like not connecting in the proper way, but just know that you're incredible, and that I really appreciate everything.
Okay, it can work another. I'm not.
Absolutely. Mwah! Sending you all the love, and remember to love that beautiful inner child, and to always make it come out and play.
Part 2.
Mwah! Love you, sweetheart. Thanks for being a part of today. Oh, I love her so much. She's an incredible human being, and I do hope that you support what she's trying to achieve right now. And I'm gonna share that lovely post with everyone. Who else wants to say hello? I think we have a couple minutes left. Let's see. Ooh, Rain 2005. Okay, here we go, sister. Here we go. Waiting for Rain _2005. Let's see if we can squeeze one more in, because this is such a fun topic. Hi, my love.
Oh my God, is this really happening? I'm gonna die right now.
This is so great. I'm so happy. Oh, we can hear each other. This is awesome. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Beautiful. How old are you? You are a child.
13.
You're 13. I'm so proud of you. How do you nurture your inner child? What do you think about this topic, beautiful?
So I think the topic is actually very beautiful, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, the live is starting. I have to be in this, and so yeah.
And you are. And
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Do you find? Do you know what I love? Because you're 13, right? So you're at that age right now where you're just starting to figure out that you've got control over this, right? You're just starting to figure out what you want to do. Right? What do you want to do with your life? What are some of your ideas?
So I actually want to be just like you. I want to inspire people. I want to be an actress, and I'm trying to reach my goals. So yeah.
That's wonderful. And you know what? This is all that we can do in life. We can strive and have the willingness with an open heart to continue pursuing courageously what we want. And then guess what? If that's the attitude we have, it happens. It happens naturally, you know? So if you live your passion every day, only good things can come your way. I kind of like that. That kind of rhymed. Isn't that funny? Oh, babe, I'm so proud of you. Honestly, where are you from? Oh, shoot, they're giving me 2 minutes. Turkey?
Turkey. Yeah.
Mwah. Girl, I am incredibly proud of you. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful heart with us. And
thank you so much.
Keep being your awesome self. Keep being that joyful little kid.
Thank you. And you too. You are just so inspiring. You have changed my life completely.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thanks for being a part of it. Let's keep doing this, okay? I want to see you again.
Okay.
Mwah. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Guys, honestly, I don't really know where these hours go by. I can't believe there's about a minute and a half that I have here, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for engaging, for your thoughts, for your ideas, for sharing, for helping one another, for reminding each other that this playful curiosity and need for fun that we all share is just that, something that we all share. And we can all inspire one another with the things that we say and do. And that I just want to leave you with this. Sometimes it's really easy for us to forget how impactful we are on each other. I always say that, you know, the only person you can ever be in control of is yourself. So therefore, you should always nurture your inner child and be aware of your emotions and know that you can control it. But the other aspect of this that I don't want to get lost on you is the fact that through our efforts and through our living our purpose, like we were just talking about, and having the courage to live life openly with curiosity, like our inner child, with excitement and freedom and uninhibited ways, we inspire one another. Inevitably, we inspire one another to do that, you know, and to live our life's purpose. And that is one of the most beautiful things that you can leave behind, no matter where you are. Influence, impact. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being a part of Soul Sunday. Mwah! To find us on all socials, we are at Pep Mag, at PEPMAG, and of course, Ann Pirvu, at ANNPIRVU on all social, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All the best!